Oh my Lord, I hope this works. I am filming in the lobby of my hotel room, so I don't have the right setup. I hope that this is working. I hope you can hear me and see my screen okay. I'm also going to try and shoot this out in one go so I don't have to edit it. A few things I want to talk about on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's smash it out. Starting with the daily, we can see here that previously we had this vector candle here that needed to be recovered. Price has come back to that area, and we can see it more clearly on lower time frames, which I'll show you in a second, but the price bounced off the 50% line of that candle there many times throughout the weekend, which was a very good and bullish sign. Now on the daily, this just looks like consolidation, so it's not that exciting. However, when we go down to lower time frames, there's a little bit more of a hint of what's going to happen over there. Now, next thing is this candle here has not yet been recovered, and the price at 20,976 would be the 50% line of that candle. So first things first, we need to come into the candle first to recover it. So we've only had a few daily candles here that have spiked into it, but not really closed with a full body. So we want to come into that candle first at around 20,100. Get above that if we can. We're looking to 20,970, and if we can get through that 50% area, then we're looking for a full recovery of the candle next. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame. I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, so this is a little bit slow. I apologize. So now you can see a lot more clearly. See how price bounced off that 50% line many times throughout the weekend. That was a really good sign, and many wicks here. So all of this time, the market makers were inducing short positions, as we now know, excuse me, with the spikes down. But because price only went sideways, that tells us the market maker was accumulating as well. We have not yet crossed the 50 fib EMA on the 4-hour time frame. That is the next thing, because when we scroll back, you can see many times throughout this drop, ever since back, where was it? Back here on the 17th of August, price has remained under the 50 EMA, and the 50 EMA has acted as a dynamic resistance up until today. So we really need to see price get above this 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame if we're to believe that this consolidation here is going to break out to the upside. So that's step one. Whilst we do have the positive that we've bounced off the 50% line, we have not yet crossed the 50 EMA. So keep that in mind. In addition to that, the next goal, if we can break that 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, is going to be up into the 200 EMA, providing we get past the 50% daily line. So keep an eye out on those two areas as a target. Now let's go down a little bit more to the 1 hour. And we can see here we've got a very strong candle coming into the Asia Open, which I don't think we've opened. No, we haven't opened just yet. We are in the dead gap zone, which again is the most highly manipulative point in the day. And often, price can be a fake move that is designed to trap us. So if you miss the move, you miss the move. There's nothing to get into right now, but you definitely want to see how Asia opens and whether Asia takes us into the consolidation that it usually does and is supposed to, or does it just bring this all the way back? So what you're going to wait for in Asia is for it to set the initial high and low of the day, wait for that price to sort of stabilize over around a 90-minute period, and then that should give you a hint, because this could push up to the dead gap. Asia could come back and consolidate, and it could potentially give you a higher low. Then you'd feel more confident to take a long position out of there. If it doesn't do that and it just fully reverses this whole move, then you'll know that it was a fake move. So very tricky price action going on right now in Bitcoin. The thing is that what's leading right now, what's leading the moves is Ethereum. It's not really even Bitcoin. Ethereum, we've noticed that the exchanges have started sending out notices about the ETH merge and what's going to happen to your tokens. Something like that is very bullish for ETH, because it makes people believe that everything is on track and that the merge will happen on time. And that's why we saw a pump in ETH first. So ETH is leading the market. The move on Ethereum is it's too late if you're not already in it. We'll go to Ethereum now. This was the area of interest down here over the weekend, which price came into, gave us a beautiful W, and now we're potentially on the 1 hour time frame in rise 2 out of that, this being rise 1, retracement back above the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, potentially rise 2 now. Now, so therefore, you've missed the move if you're not already long on it. We are coming right into the zone that we have had marked out for a number of weeks now, which we have tested once, but we did not get into until literally this candle right now. So that's between 1635 and say 1705. That candle would come from back here. So let's mark this candle out. It's a little bit off. We'll mark this one out properly and get the correct 50% zone of that candle. Now, the thing is, it's likely that ETH is going to break right through this candle and keep going. Will it pull back? At some point, obviously, it will. Will it pull back enough to give you a high quality entry? Potentially not. And that's the risk that you take. But because the news has just come out, it's likely this will keep going. There we go. We're on the 50% line right now. Again, we're in the dead zone. I think Asia is just about to open. So we need to wait and see what happens. If we happen to get a pullback, there might be an entry there. This one might be one that turns into a lower time frame 3-level rise with a smaller retracement that becomes a higher time frame 3-level rise, just because Ethereum is so bullish right now with that good news of everything coming out. What it does mean is that when we have fundamentally good news in cryptocurrency that outweighs anything else going on in the world, it's going to be short-lived. So that's one thing to pay attention to, is that anything good that is happening with Ethereum is probably only going to be a short-term pump. If the rest of the economy, like if the NASDAQ, if S&P and all that starts to come down, we may have a decoupling for the short term just because of a fundamental pump, but it won't last for a very long time. So just keep that in mind. Just trade what you see. Don't get emotional about it. This pump is simply happening because people are believing that everything is on track for Ethereum. They're going to get their tokens, and it's probably going to be a very big sell-off after the merge. If you're long-term on Ethereum, you don't care about that. You'll ride it out. If you're in it just to make some profits, you'll be taking the profits around that time when things start to top out. So that's what I'm thinking with Ethereum. Unless you're already in, you're too late to get the move. There's potentially a lot more coming. Now, if we do break through this 1700, let's see what we've got going on next. I'm so sorry to do this on a laptop. I don't really have any other choice. But we're looking... there's a little bit of this area here yet to recover, very small, between 1715 and 1730. Then we'll be coming up into this candle zone right here. So those are the ones to look out for on Ethereum. Now, if you miss this move, you miss Bitcoin's move. This is the order that price moves. It goes from whatever makes the move first, which in this case it's Ethereum. The next thing to move will be that coin's competitors. And if it's a layer 1, which in this case it is, the things that are built on that. So if you miss this move, it doesn't mean that there's nothing for you to trade today. What I would be doing is jumping on the computer and having a look for things that are built on Ethereum that haven't moved yet, and also Ethereum's competitors. Now, let's take a look at the heat maps here, because we want to see where there may be a potential rejection. We've got some pretty large orders here at 20,300, which would be the previous high. That's for Bitcoin. So keep an eye on that. However, if this keeps moving up with really strong momentum, it's probably just going to eat right through it. So I don't find that too scary, but this could be an area we may keep going up to somewhere, say between 20,200 to 20,300. We may keep going somewhere there before we get a pullback for a second chance entry. Honestly, if I were a trader, I would not, well, I am, it's stupid, but if I was a trader looking for an entry, I would not be chasing this and waiting for a retracement to get in. I'd be going and having a look here through my list here and literally do a quick scroll of everything on my watch list can also do this on exchanges and have a look for anything that hasn't moved massively yet in comparison to everything else. So at a quick glance, like for example, let's just have a look at like ETC had a huge move this morning, so you're not going to look at that. But what else have we got here? Potentially even BTC pairs might be something. Let me see. All of these have just reset because the daily candle has just reset. So you're better off doing this on an actual exchange and have a look for what hasn't had a big move yet that might be similar, and look for trades there rather than trying to get in this unless you're already in it. So that's all I really have for you. Sorry to keep this brief. I just wanted to get something out there before I make my way to the airport, but I'll be back tomorrow and do a proper update then. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment.